Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And I want to say hello. So let's wait for a few folks to come on and say hello here. And thank you guys for all your wonderful support. Kevin, Happy New Year. Rosa, Andrea, Niagara Falls, good morning. Rosalinda, the kidneys of Canada. Mary, and good morning. And Mike from Norland. Jen, Nellie, good morning. Micheline, how are you? Jeanette, good morning from our staff. Linda, good morning. Fran from Orangeville, how are you? Wendy, good morning. The leader of the pack. Are we all following Wendy? John, good morning. Ready for the reset? John said he started yesterday. Vera. Morris from North Bay, good morning. Wanda. Guys, are we ready for the reset? Rita, Dave, good morning. Reset day, reset day. Donna, Park Hill. Carol, Newfoundland. And Terry, Prince Rupert. Pat, good morning. And Georgie, how are you? And Halifax. She's on her 6th day. And Suzanne, Darlene, Nick from our staff, good morning. Wanda from Ridgeway. April, good morning. And Joy says she's in. Gail, good morning. And Laura, good morning. Karen, how is you? Micheline. Alma, good morning to you. And Donna, let's go reset. Tina, reset day. Yeah, I think lots of us want to do that. Roma. Now we'll talk a little bit about that today. Len and Judy from Edmonton, first day of the reset. Good morning. Sue, how are you? From St. Petersburg, Florida. Suzanne and Sandra. Good. Let's get going here this morning. I want to do a little bit of teaching. And Deanna and Denise, I'm in, she says, but I'm nervous. Well, you know what, Denise? We're going to help you out. Stephanie, Cecilia, Tina, good morning. And Doug, how is you? Nancy, Kapuskasing. And Claudie, bonjour. Marnie, good morning. Okay, a couple of more. Julie from the East Coast. Diane from Newfoundland. Snowy. And from Missouri, Mary, good morning. Catherine's into Jen, good morning. And Mary from Missouri, what do they say about Missouri? The show me state. Well, I want to show you guys. I want to prove to you how good the reset is. Okay? So we're going to talk about the reset this morning. Okay? Why you want to do it. Okay? And I saw something the other day that kind of made me laugh. You remember the slogan in, I think it was 2016, let's make America great again. Remember the people wore those hats and this and that? And I saw a slogan the other day that I thought was kind of funny. Let's make our metabolic health great again. Okay? And I really like that. Let's make metabolic health great again. And it's important to do so. It's important to do so. Now, let me just give you a couple of things of why you want to do the reset and why it's so successful and why it's so good for you. Okay? Why? Ask questions. Nothing wrong with questions. I invite questions. We have a staff that answers questions. Okay? Don't be shy. You got questions? You're not sure? Ask. We'll help you out. Okay? We're here to support each other. So if you're not a member of the private Facebook group, this is a great group. It's really significant to start up with that group because we are here to encourage one another. As we go through this journey of 30 days together, we're in the same boat, guys, okay? We're all in the same boat and we're going to row the same direction because we're trying to achieve metabolic health, okay? Now, I understand, fully understand, that, in around the early January, people make resolutions. And look, I know enough about human psychology or human behavior to know that most times resolutions, my saying is gyms are full in January and empty in February, and there's a reason for it. Because people they make resolutions without, really thinking them through, in a sense that I'm going to get in shape, for example, and I'm going to start going to the gym, but then they get, on day 2, they're sore. Well, what did you expect? If you haven't worked out and you haven't used any muscles, it's the same thing with any kind of eating exercise. You sort of gotta, think ahead. Okay? And you have to be resolved. You know me and my 3 Ds. Desire, okay, we're in. Okay, we're in. We want to do the reset. That's a desire. It's a good thing. Hey, it's up here. I'm changing my mind. I want to get in. I want to get in shape. I want to get healthy in 2023. 2, determination. Now you're transferring it 18 inches. Okay? From the head to the heart. It's an 18-inch transfer. And it's really important to do that because now you are determined. Like it's not only a resolution, but I'm going to do this, man. Okay? I know it's going to be tough, but I'm going to do it because it's worth it. That's determination. And the third thing, the third D, is discipline, meaning that's every day. When people come in and go, well, you shouldn't be eating so much eggs, meat, and cheese, and you know what, dieting isn't good for you, and this is not true, and blah, blah. You get people that are, they think they have the gift of discouragement. Look, that's why we want you on our group, so that we can pump each other's tires up, okay? And discipline is every day. That's a day-to-day. Determination is an outlook, and I mean it. As for me, this is what I'm going to do. But discipline, that's the everyday for 30 days. And I'm going to tell you, my friend, once you get past the 6th, 7th day mark, you're going to understand what I mean when you're switching fuels. So let's go through a few questions that people have thrown at me. Why the reset? Okay, why would I even do it? Well, look, a lot of people do it because they want to lose weight. You must understand, first of all, that this is the best, and I mean it, the best, the number 1 weight loss program that there is. And let me tell you why. Okay? Now, the metabolic reset was never intended for weight loss. You have to understand that first. Just know where it's coming from. The metabolic reset was intended to fix insulin resistance. Okay? That's the key. It was intended to fix insulin resistance, to lower your circulating insulin. Why is that important? Because metabolic syndrome 93% of the population have some form of metabolic syndrome. They're on the Titanic and they don't even know it, most of the people. And metabolic syndrome is characterized by high triglycerides, low HDL, high blood pressure, higher than normal blood sugar, and I add a couple, high uric acid, and oh, by the way, belly fat. Okay, belly fat in men and women. And what we know about metabolic syndrome is that it is at the root cause. Listen to what I'm going to say. It's at the root cause of cancer, heart disease, okay, Alzheimer's, and fourthly, diabetes, of course. Diabetes is not a problem of high blood sugar. To start, it's a problem of high insulin. And the metabolic reset is to fix that. You're fixing metabolic syndrome. But when you fix metabolic syndrome, because of the nutrients, because of the fuel you will now burn, I promise you that if you want to lose weight, this is the best way. It's not calories in and calories out. If that was successful, it's why people have yo-yo dieting, because they play the game of calories in and calories out. This has nothing to do with calories. You don't measure anything. Okay? Don't measure anything. You eat the right foods. And for 30 days, okay, for 30 days, you're not going to eat any gluten, which is going to be very good for you. You're going to have no grains, which is going to be very good for you. You're going to have no legumes, which is going to be very good for you. You're going to have no seeds or nuts, which is going to be very good for you. Hard to believe, right? You're going to have no sugar, which is extremely good for you. You're going to have no processed foods, which is very good for you. You're going to have no soy, which is extremely good for you. And you're not going to play the game, no calories in and no calories out. Nope, you're not playing that game. You're going to eat. You're going to change fuels. Okay? So now you're going to go from what your little battery packs in your body are called mitochondria. Okay? You learned that in high school. You looked at a cell, right? In high school. Or maybe even grade school. I can't remember anymore. That's how long I've been out of school. But when you learn about the cell, you learn that it has a nucleus, and then it has a battery packs. They're called mitochondria. And your muscle cells, your bone cells, your heart cells, your blah, 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 blah cells all have mitochondria. They have battery packs. Now, okay, and you know, like electric cars, you gotta charge them up. Well, I am going to show you how to recharge your batteries with something they adore, and that is high quality nutrition. You will have everything you need in eggs, meat, and cheese. Everything you need. Okay? Everything you need in your body, from macros, protein and fat, because that's what your body needs. Carbs, not so much. And you're gonna get all the micros you need, all the vitamins, all the minerals, and all the amino acids. You're gonna have a complete nutritional profile that your body will thrive with. Is there any exceptions to it? Nope. There's no exceptions to it because you have a human body. Your body was made to live on animal products. Now, I'm not saying all plants are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for 30 days, I do not want any nitrates. I don't want any gluten. I don't want any of that stuff. I want your body to recharge itself on the best nutrition possible. Okay? And you're going to fix a lot of things that you're not even thinking of. Some of you who have been with me for many, many years, you know where I come from. From your head to your toes, things get better because you're aiming at your body's mitochondria. You're aiming at those batteries. You're aiming at organs that need to be regenerated. You're going to regenerate your liver. People don't think of their liver until their liver gets sick. But the biggest problem in our society today in terms of health comes out of the liver. Because the liver, it does 600 things. And when we insist on eating poorly, we destroy our livers. We store it up with fat, first of all, and that is very dangerous. People don't think about it because they don't see it. But when the liver gets full of fat, there's metabolic changes that occur. And you start to produce an enormous amount of triglycerides. And triglycerides are fatty balls that travel through your bloodstream. They are dangerous. And you're not producing enough HDL, which is cholesterol, which circulates in the bloodstream to hitch its wagon to those triglycerides. You see, we got it all wrong in medicine because we were hammering down cholesterol, which is the worst thing you can do. You don't want to hammer your cholesterol down. You want to build it up. There's no such thing, my friend, as bad cholesterol. That is made up. That was brought to you by the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry. Okay? And I've talked enough about that, but I'm sure I will rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. Don't look at cholesterol as the boogeyman. Look at triglycerides as the boogeyman. And triglycerides are directly proportional to the amount of crappy carbs and sugars that you consume. That's why on the reset, your triglycerides are going to go down and your cholesterol is going to go up. And that's what you want. I know it goes against the grain, but it's the truth, my friend. It's the truth. And if cholesterol was the boogeyman, like the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry says it is, well, heck, we would have got rid of heart disease by now. There'd be no more heart disease. Why is it still the #1 killer in the world today? It's because we're looking for love in all the wrong places. Because it's not true. And I know it, that it's hard to understand that because we have been brainwashed for almost 50 years. like it's a mantra, it's a narrative that isn't true. And it's hard for people. They're scared skinny. They're not doctors. Well, my doctor is worried about my cholesterol. My doctor is worried about my cholesterol. And I understand that. That's their training. And one by one, even doctors are coming to their senses. And they're reading, they're studying, they're looking at research that shows them, you, my friend, have been duped. You've been duped. And I talk to a lot of doctors. They're starting to see the light. Don't focus in on cholesterol. Well, you can, but make sure it's high. You want to live long? You want cholesterol. Now, one of the reasons that people shy away from the animal products, eggs, meat, and cheese, why is that bad news for a lot of people? Because it's propaganda that's telling you not to eat from the animal kingdom. Is it true? No, it's not true. Was it ever true? No, it was never true. And guys, I've been so consistent telling you this, that's not true. As a matter of fact, the animal kingdom is far superior to the plant kingdom in terms of nutritional value. It's far superior. So for 30 days, I want you to focus on the animal kingdom. There's a reason insulin is a fat storing hormone. Its job is to store fat. So if you want the healthiest weight loss, if you want to burn fat and not store it, and if you want to lower your triglycerides and up your HDL specifically, but I like elevated LDL too. I want your cholesterol to go up, but your triglycerides to go down. And food, you start in the kitchen. You want to start with your health? You don't start with a medication. You start in the kitchen. So we're in the kitchen today, in your mind, and you are going to have to trust me a little bit here, because especially if you've been listening to the propaganda for the last lots of years, you've been listening to the propaganda, you've been told that fat makes you fat, fat gives you cholesterol, fat isn't good for you, and too much protein is hard on your kidneys, and red meat is acidic, and red meat is bad. Well, I'm here to change your mind. Okay? You know what the word repent means? I want you to repent. It's 180 degrees. Okay? Turn around. You're going this way. You're on the Titanic. You're not doing well. You're not feeling good. And you've been lied to. You were told that you were on the invincible ship. It's unsinkable. And yet you're not doing well. We're going to turn you around. We're going to turn you around. And we're not going to worry about the deck chairs on the Titanic. We're going to start. Okay? We're going to start by changing course. Because we don't want to hit any icebergs. Okay? As you have found out over the years, I love the story of the Titanic. Do you know on the night they hit the icebergs, you know, in the North Atlantic, there was the Californian, the ship, all day long saying, hey, you guys, hey, Titanic, change course, danger ahead. They were warned. But Linda didn't listen. And I want Linda to listen. Okay. So the first question is, okay, why the reset? The second question is, why 30 days? Why 30 days? Well, there's a couple of reasons for it. Okay? A lot of things are going to happen right away, very quickly. Okay? As your body changes fuels, and your liver starts to empty yourself. Do you know that you can empty your liver in 6 days? 6 days. Oh, I wanted to sing. You can empty your liver in 6 days. And we're going to empty that liver. I'm aiming at the liver and I'm aiming at the pancreas. What did I used to say all the time? Your pancreas is going on a holiday to Hawaii. You have no idea how good that is for you. You're going to empty your liver but 30 days, let's get back to that. 21 days, first of all, you got to get past the 21-day mark. Why do I insist on that? Well, because I want you to form a habit. It's not the number one reason, but it's a big reason. Habit. Change habits. Okay? You're going to find out like tens of thousands of people have done the reset. Okay, so you're not the first one to do the reset. First of all, thousands of my patients, even before I wrote the book, The Metabolic Reset, thousands of my patients did the reset before it was even public knowledge. Okay, because I started off by giving it to patients that were diabetic or pre-diabetic. I said, we're going to put that into remission because I'm aiming at insulin, okay? But you're going to empty your liver very quickly, but I want you to go the 30 days. Why do I want you to go 30 days? Because you got to get past the 21-day mark, first of all. That's forming habits. You're going to find out how much you and carbs didn't get along. Okay? You're going to find out how much you and carbs didn't get along. What? Yeah. You're going to find out you had a bad relationship with carbs. Okay? You were hooked. You know? You ever talk to an addict, a cocaine addict or whatever? I have. They said, Doc, I would rob my grandmother to get another fix. I'd rob my grandmother to get another fix. And do you think food is any different? Do you think sugar is different than cocaine? Yeah, it's probably somewhat different. Maybe not quite as destructive. But in the long term, it is very destructive. And it takes the same route in your brain to the feel-good centers in your brain that cocaine does. That's a fact. I remember watching, okay, it wasn't even on YouTube in those days. It was on something else. I watched it. And they gave a rat sugar and put it through a maze, okay? And they had a sugar cube, and they gave the rat a little bit of sugar, and then it would run through that maze. It didn't care how long it took till it found that sugar again, took another bite. Then they would zap it. Now, I don't want to talk about animal cruelty, but it's just an experiment that they did. They wanted to show the cocaine-like effect of sugar. and it didn't matter. They'd electrocute, they'd zap that rat. But once it had the taste of sugar, it didn't matter. It was coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back. You're going to find out how much carbs, crappy carbs, addictive foods like sugar and crappy carbs had an effect on you. From energy, because it destroys those mitochondria in your cells, how it affected your mental health, how it affected your hormonal health, how it affected your vascular health, how it affected your bone health, how it affected your muscle health, how it affected all of that. But you got to get past a certain point so that you will fully understand it. I tell you, my friend, there's a reason for my madness. I'm not trying to punish people, okay? I tell them, look, I know I didn't say it was going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And for my friend that morning that says, I'm nervous, I get it. You're nervous because you've been lied to. This is the best thing you could ever do for yourself. You don't need 1 ounce of fruit or 1 ounce of vegetables, and I mean that, to live. Now, I'm not telling you not to have them once you're out of the reset, okay? I call fruit God's candies. And that's all right. You can have some of God's candies after. Not now. You can have vegetables, but not now. Trust me. Let the process be complete. Okay? 30 days. It's important. And I found out, okay? I found out with my guinea pigs, those were my first patients, I'm talking years ago, that did the reset. My guinea pigs found out, and I found out by measuring insulin, okay? Because we used to measure insulin. And we could look at insulin resistance. And we realized that it really took 30 days to get rid of insulin resistance. Now, sometimes it even takes longer than that for some carboholics, okay? But 30 days has been generally what we found. What a difference that makes in your body. And now, you know, what I talked about the other day, people are on the broad path to destruction. At the end of that path is diabetes. At the end of that path is autoimmune disease. At the end of that path is cancer. At the end of that path is heart disease. And the end of that path is Alzheimer's and dementia. And we want to get you off that path onto a narrow road that will keep us healthy. And I'm telling you, you start in the kitchen. And you have to have an attitude that you can do it. Okay? And I never couch it because I'm not saying it's easy. My name is Tony and I'm a carboholic. I talked to a guy yesterday. Okay? I talked to a guy yesterday. He said, you know what? He said, Doc, I've been fighting this all my life. What was he fighting? Weight gain all of his life. I said, you know what? Join the crowd. Join the crowd. I've been fighting my weight all of my life. But that's all right. It keeps me on the straight and narrow. You know, I was telling another person yesterday, I did a little seminar yesterday, and I was telling someone right after that, yeah, but that keeps you on the straight and narrow. You know your weaknesses. It keeps you on the straight and narrow. And I find it easier. It's not tougher. It's easier. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it's easier. Because I like the results of feeling good. I like the results of, not having high blood pressure. I like the results of not having high insulin. I like the results of having an empty liver. I like the results of not having inflammation and pain all the time. I like the results of that. You have to look down the road, sort of visualize it, okay? Hey, at the end, it's worth it. Because a lot of people, I used to do that even with encouraging people with weight loss. I said, look to the end. Look at the end. What's it going to be? When I was in school, I used to call my dad, Dad, it's tough. Sciences are tough. Biology and microbiology and chemistry and biochemistry. I hated that stuff. Well, I didn't really hate it. It just was tough. And my dad was very wise, and he would say, shut up and get your degree. Look at the end. You want to be a doctor? Yeah. Well, it's tough sledding, but it's worth it. That was my dad, very wise, short sentence, shut up. No, seriously, he told me that. Hey, dear Dad, no fun, no mun, your son. Dad, so sad, too bad. Get to work, finish school, get your degree. That was my dad. He said, you get your degree, shut up. I knew he loved me, so when he said shut up, it didn't insult me. He was just telling me the truth. Hey, son, bear down. Okay. Okay, guys. So, for those of you who are starting the reset with us today, here we go. Let us know, okay? Let us know. Get on the Facebook group and let us know, okay? And we're gonna pump up your tires. We'll pump up your tires. Our crew will pump up your tires, okay? Okay, guys. We love you dearly. And I know I probably say that too much. No? Well, I'll say it again and again and again. No, we do. And we care for you. And we're here to help you guys. And we're here to encourage you guys. And we want you to be well. We want you to be well. And tell your friends. Share the podcast. And if they can't watch live, then remind them to get in on the Doctor Is In podcast on their smart device. Okay? Love you guys. Talk to you soon.